The price of energy in the 21st century is high and still going up, so saving energy is a national priority.
We cannot continue the level of energy consumption that we have over the past several decades. It's very clear that the cost of energy is increasing, the supply of it is becoming more challenging, and unless we figure out creative ways to address it, we're going to find ourselves, frankly, left behind.
An important way that Detroit is addressing the issue is by retrofitting its buildings for energy efficiency through a federally funded program called SmartBuildings Detroit.
SmartBuildings Detroit is on track to complete at least 75 projects, totaling $8 million in grants and leveraging over $53 million in additional investment.
This is money that anybody can get, so long as they qualify and they stay within the confines of what the grant is intended to do.
The Economic Development Corporation of the City of Detroit, or EDC, manages SmartBuildings Detroit using a $10 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy and administered by Better Buildings for Michigan. The program leverages private investment and works in partnership with other energy optimization incentives available to commercial property owners. Not only is it saving energy and money for building owners, it is helping to revitalize Detroit by encouraging economic development around historic structures.
The Smart Buildings grant came at the perfect time for this building. We had started the renovation, wanted to do geothermal, wanted to do the special things for the building, but they're expensive. And so with the Smart Buildings grant, we were able to do more with renovating this building.
Newberry Hall in Midtown Detroit was built in 1898 as a school for nursing students. The historic property has been restored and renovated as apartments. Smart Buildings paid a portion of the cost of a high-efficiency geothermal heating and cooling system, insulation, high-efficiency hot water heaters, and other cost-saving improvements.
What Smart Buildings helped the building owners do is really look at all the systems together. And I think this is a great opportunity for everybody who uses this program. Is with the energy audit as well as the consultants, you really get the big picture. And you have to plan for what's right for your building. So here it gets laid out for you, and you can see all the opportunities that are in place.
One of the keys to success for Smart Buildings Detroit is its support for independent energy assessments. These can identify what energy improvements will pay for themselves quickly and achieve the overall target of 15% in energy savings.
Well, so the first thing we generally look at is the envelope, because improvements to the envelope are going to be the shortest payback of measures for most buildings. Because when you're losing air through the building, for instance, air sealing measures is a frequently recommended thing. That's one of the quickest ways to lose heat out of your building is through air leakage. So that's one of the first things we look at. We also look at levels of insulation in the ceiling, in the walls, in the roof, and that's another aspect of the envelope. Of course, windows and doors, any kind of opening, that's always an opportunity for doing more air sealing measures as well.
Sometimes it's as simple as their equipment is in really poor shape. If it's in really poor condition, then it's not operating at the levels that it was designed to operate at. And if they're looking at something that's even as new as 10 years old, it may have been designed to get 84% efficiency. And if it's in poor working condition, it might be getting 70% efficiency. Where a new piece of equipment now, even 10 years down the road, they're designing it for 95% efficiency. And if it's in really good shape, you're going to get that 95. So just replacing the same piece of equipment with something a little bit more modern and new, and that has that's in real good working condition, they can get a lot of savings.
The EDC has reached out to private companies large and small, nonprofit organizations, educational institutions, and government agencies to find suitable projects for Smart Buildings grants.
Through the program, we've been able to offer incentives for 25% of an energy improvement project, leveraging other dollars at a 3-to-1 ratio. For example, we can include building envelope improvements, HVAC improvements, insulated roofs, lighting retrofits, and other improvements under the program. Through the Smart Buildings Detroit program, energy improvement projects are brought to our EDC Board of Directors for approval, and then subsequently a funding agreement is entered into with the property owner for an energy optimization project. These projects and the energy improvements are then measured and the energy savings are then documented by our program and provided to the U.S. Department of Energy.
With any kind of grant funding, you're going to have reporting that you need to do, and you have to follow certain rules. And what we try to do is to minimize the amount of red tape that any of the building owners have to go through, and we try to almost handhold them throughout the entire process. So we try to minimize the amount of pain that building owners might experience, and we try to help them as much as we possibly can.
So Smart Buildings Detroit is more than just energy savings. We're helping business owners save money. We're creating more viable real estate here in the city of Detroit, helping to create more comfortable work environments, especially in older buildings, and of course helping create jobs.
The program is working well and has expanded beyond its original downtown boundaries. In fact, Smart Buildings Detroit expects to lower energy costs in more than 13 million square feet of building space.
The Better Buildings program in Michigan is a great example of collaboration between the public and private sectors. Both governmental and private funders have come forward and demonstrated a real market for energy efficiency improvements. Private contractors and nonprofits have also cooperated to make the program a success.
Quite frankly, if somebody hasn't done this work and they're within the city of Detroit and they have access to these funds, they should take advantage of it. There's no question around that. Even if it takes a little bit longer, the access to the funds is so strong. There are so many more funds available to them now that they really should take advantage of it, and they should do it now.